Healing crystals, skincare routines, knitting a sweater, fitting in jeans. With Katie and Sarah, no need to worry, you're on a lady journey.
Oh, yes. We did it.
Hey.
Hi, Lady
Hi,
Journey.
everybody. Yes. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Lady Journey. I am one of your beautiful hostesses. My name is Katie Hannigan, and today we are recording via Zoom. So please forgive us if we have any little glitches. I'm sure you will surely let us know in the reviews section of iTunes, because apparently that is what that is now for. So thank you for the support, the constructive criticism we've received. And just a reminder, please give us a 5-star rating. And if you have it down, put it in the review.
Also, don't leave, what is it? So this is the review we just got. And I'm like, can you guys not leave this kind of shit on our review?
Hot off
Promote
the
this more. Had no idea Sarah has new pod as I'm a Tuesday. Oh, and blow Joe more. It's like,
Is that from a lady? I wonder if that was from a lady. The audience we have specifically catered this podcast towards. But no, all men are welcome. And we actually have a wonderful male guest. Please give us a big round of applause, everyone, for Sean Donnelly. Welcome, Sean.
Hello, Lady Journeys. How are you?
You're so
we're
good.
great.
Hello, your shock jock fans that you have. Really just.
We're trying so hard to get female listeners, and all we get is like sad dudes.
Yeah.
But we
Every
love
comment.
them, and you guys are welcome to continue supporting the podcast, because you are all we have at this point.
Yeah. What you need, you get where you get, I guess. But it's like
help your fan base.
every comment is like blow Joe more and free Louie.
It's the same on all of my, it's the same. And I love, like, I'm, really focusing on my social media right now, and everything is like, you have to interact with the fans. It's like all my fan interactions is like a lonely man writing to my Facebook being like, hey, I love that photo of you eating ice cream. Like, what are you doing later? I'm like, okay, Richard,
go to work.
either buy my soap or get off my goddamn page.
Yep.
But it's amazing to have a guy on the podcast. We really don't have that many male guests, Sean, but I thought you would be perfect because I know you are on several journeys.
I am on multiple journeys right now, multiple lady journeys for myself. The big one, you know what it is? I think the over encompassing journey is becoming an adult. I'm a 44-year-old man that still kind of isn't an adult. So adulting is part of the game here. And I was saying that I'm 44 years old and I got my first plant about 3 weeks ago.
Oh, I love that.
How's that going?
I was really excited about it. I don't even know. I was like, I had this thing. I'm like, oh, if I buy a plant, that'll be a first step in being like a serious adult. Like that'll. So I just went to the plant store in Queens, like down the block from my house. And I asked the guy, I basically just did it off look. And I just asked different details about the plants. And some of them seemed kind of beat up and a little bit kind of rough. So I didn't want to go for those. And then I went for a thing called a money tree, which is basically a plant. Ooh. And it's supposed to bring good fortune in, I believe, in the Asian culture. Ooh. So I got one of those. But the guy, of course, I got a plant that's like, it's watered weird right away. Like the guy was like, listen, so what you got to do, I was like, oh, I'll get this one after I bought it. He's like, he's like, all right, so what you got to do is you got to get on a schedule with it where you water it from the bottom because the roots get soaked. Like I guess the roots get so soaked and they get waterlogged, not damages the plant. So I literally have to give this plant a bath once a week.
I love it. You went straight to the advanced plant.
I went to the exactly. I went to the advanced physics of plants, and so I that's the way I do it because I'm like, he's like, you have to water it from the bottom, and I was like, where do I do that? Because he's like, oh, you have to get like a bowl. And I'm like, I don't have a bowl big enough. That's another reason I'm not an adult. I don't have a big enough bowl to water this damn plant. So I literally just fill up my bathtub halfway. I put the plant in it and I wait about 5 minutes and then I put the plant on. But like, it was kind of insane. I put it back in the thing. It was kind of insane how attached I got to this plant, like right away. Like right away, I was on the phone with my girlfriend and I'm like, oh, I got to feed you. Like I already started talking to the plant. Like immediately started talking to the plant. And the plant is doing well. Like I was worried about the plant because the guy was like, oh, you got to put it in direct sunlight. But he was lying because I think I was like burning the leaves a little bit. So I moved him back. I moved him back a hair. And then on top of that, I started talking to the plant like right away. Like I didn't feel weird about it at all. I think that's 7 years of therapy made me okay with talking to a plant right away. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm pretty open to and weird, awkward. Also, I think comedy makes us very, very adept to awkward conversations. So,
what are you doing here?
Exactly. Yeah. I asked the plant, I do crowd work with the plant in my apartment.
Yeah. Well, it's like we usually have to carry the conversation anyway. So you're just really working on that part.
Yeah, I love it. So are you
what do you do
dating?
for a living? Yeah.
That's
So
great. I feel like that could break you on TikTok, plant crowd work.
Yeah. Oh, it'd probably get 1 million freaking views. 15 years of comedy up until one clip of a plant crowd work. But yeah, so I'm happy about it because and it's still alive. So that's saying something. It's still going. 3 weeks in, I didn't kill this plant. And the only weird thing is it's growing. It's weirdly growing away from the wind. Like it's set in from my window.
Mm.
And it's kind of leaning the other, away from the window, which is like, oh, why isn't it going towards the sunlight? Yeah.
Yeah.
Really strange.
Maybe it is too hot for it.
Yeah.
It might be going away from it, but I have it far enough in the apartment. But my apartment does get kind of hot during the day when I'm not here. So maybe that's part of it. Maybe it's like thrown off or something. I don't know. But it did set me off. It makes me think about have more appreciation for plants. Like I want to get more.
Yeah.
And there's something cool to it. I like the idea of it. I like the idea of like taking care of this thing that's like living, but you don't think that unless you're like into plants already, you don't even think of plants as living, So I kind of I like the idea of it. Yeah.
And it's a great. Sorry. Go ahead, Sarah. You go ahead.
No, I was just saying it's weird because you feel like it should be low maintenance and it's actually not. Like I had an orchid and my landlord gave it to us as a gift and he was like, it's very low maintenance. And I was like, no, it's not. Like, because it can't stay in sunlight all the time. So, and then it needs a little bit of sunlight. So I had to move it around the apartment all throughout the day. But you're just like, this is ridiculous. Like I didn't get into it. If I wanted to take care of something, I might as well just have a baby.
Yeah. Your friend's like, hey, want to go to lunch? Like I have to walk my plant.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I like about plants too. It's like a metric for like, you go into someone's home, you immediately know how well they're doing. It's like, you have you're taking time for yourself, you're caring for your plants versus what my apartment looks like right now, which is like, one is dead and the other is on the way out. And it's like, well, you're probably spinning out emotionally, which I am. So I like people to know, like, welcome to my home. We're holding it together in here.
They're also expensive if you go out and buy them. And then you also have to get a nice pot for it. Like what kind of pot do you have your plant in right now?
It's in like a ceramic. It was already painted. It came with the plant. It's white.
Okay.
But yeah, it wasn't cheap. I think the whole thing altogether, it was like $60 or something. Like
that's why it's called a money tree, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. They're like, hey, by taking your money, but it's good luck. So you'll get $60 back eventually from the universe. That's what
feels like a course I just enrolled for on TikTok. Women learning the stock market.
Learning Annex Money Tree course. Yeah, exactly.
Yes, a FICOR.
But I'm like, I agree with you. It's like you full on, like you can tell when somebody is like has their stuff together because they are taking time. I think that's a problem with people in our world is like especially in the beginning, like how much your own such a one-track mind when it comes to what we do. So it's like, and I think that could happen in other worlds. People's jobs take over, So it's good to have something else,
outside.
something else on the side, even if something as small as like watering a plant, which I like. I don't know why. I just never thought about it before in my life. Like I used to have a joke about how before I was married, I lived like an assassin because I really just everything just in my apartment. Like people, if you get in my apartment, you'd be like, you just moved in a week ago. Like it's like still like that. I have one picture behind me in the video. I put that up about 6 months ago. And has it's not sharing the wall with any other pictures. It's one poster of Goodfellas in the office area I have. Yeah, so I'm basically a college freshman. That's
Yes. This is so funny because like we had Rosebud Baker on and she's very into decor, and we were really going in. I was listening to the episode. I'm like, are we going in too hard making fun of dudes with their decor?
No, it's really bad.
This is
bad.
everything. I was like, Mike had a Scarface poster. I'm like, I hope that wasn't hurtful, but it's like, oh no, this is just actually the reality of the situation.
No, I went into a guy's apartment once to podcast, and he had decorated himself. He wasn't gay. Not that that's a stereotype, but it comes in my mind.
Right.
And he had a nautical theme, and I was like really impressed, and he did it all himself. I mean, it's like not a theme I would go with, but I was just impressed that he put together a nice looking apartment for himself. And I was like, this is how you get the ladies.
Wow. A man overboard. I love a nautical theme. That's very masculine. It's almost like, and that seems like very a dude thing to do too. Like, well, this is where I pretend I'm a pirate.
Yeah.
I'm the captain.
So by nautical, you just meant Johnny Depp posters everywhere.
Yeah, and he had a treasure chest.
Did he have that thing by nautical? Did he have those two paddles like in an X on the wall?
The paddles, the navigation thing on the boat.
Oh, no way.
Like Moby Dick themed art, but I liked it.
Scrimshaw on the tables.
Yeah. A tractor set and maps everywhere.
Yeah. You walk in the apartment, he's like, ahoy.
Ahoy, yeah.
You're like, all right, that's a little bit too much. Take it down a notch.
Hey, but it's better than like some guy's apartment you go into and you're just like, it's the most depressing place I've ever been in.
Yeah, that's my place. Yeah.
Well, not anymore with this money tree.
And your poster.
Yeah, I'm gonna have a money theme. I'm just gonna start stapling $100 bills on my wall. That should be impressive.
Yeah. That's the thing. I'm like feeling inspired to get a money tree myself. I don't know if I could be like bathing it, but I love getting something like that. Anything that you're like externalizing your manifestation of prosperity, it's something good to like, even if it's like, okay, whatever, this is a little magical thinking, like I got this money tree, now I'm gonna have money. It's like, actually, I do think that kind of stuff works in a way where you're like, I found $5 money tree.
Well, yeah, I think you're right. And even professionally, I have my ex-manager I had would be like, hey, you should write out 5 goals you have for the year. Mm-hmm. And I since we stopped working, I haven't done that. I should do that. I think the manifestation thing is a thing. But I remember one year I was like, I couldn't think of any good ones. And I wrote like, oh, this, like, and 3 of the things came true in like 6 months. And that could just be coincidence, which I'm sure it might be. But I do think there is something the same way that if you like start making yourself busy, stuff comes down the pipe. I've had that happen too, where I'm like, oh, I've sent out some emails and done some stuff. Then out of nowhere you get somebody reaches out about something with work or something, whatever it is. So I think you're absolutely right. I think the energy, if you ever watched Surviving Death, it made me believe in a lot of energy stuff.
Oh yeah, that show is really interesting. I think too, it's just like the way your mind works. When you put stuff out there, then your mind like recognizes it, like if you didn't have the money tree, you find $5, you're like, okay. But if you have it, you're like, it's working.
This tree's paying off. like a slot machine.
I got something kind of similar. Well, I got a cactus, which I was inspired to buy it because I was not booking a lot of work at the time. This was during the pandemic. It was like pretty deep into the first year. And I was reading some kind of like actor blog that was about like recovering from an audition that you got really close, which I didn't even get a call back, but in my mind, I'm like, they want me. But it was like, think, embody the spirit of the cactus. The cactus gets its little deluge of water once in a while, and then it kind of holds on to it. And, when you're not getting work or when you're kind of in between projects, you can be like, oh, I'm like the cactus. Like, I'm still okay. I'm still thriving. I'm still doing my own little secret things internally that nobody can see. So I do have a cactus from that. And it was kind of fun because I would, if I wasn't booking anything, I would have my little cactus and I'd be like, well, she's doing okay. So I guess
it's you and me, babe. It's just you and the cactus.
I think I'd rather get a money tree so I could be like, I'm going to make money instead of like, it's going to be a long winter.
Yeah. I think you're right. And I love the idea of that, where it's like, I think we're all just like, we're just dying, especially with this kind of stuff with show business stuff and all that. You're just dying inside your head on a daily basis, but the idea is like, everybody's doing it, but nobody's sharing it enough. Nobody's sharing it to a point where you're like, it's calming you down. So it's good to be like, let me be resilient like the cactus. Let me just take a little bit. Hey, I got this little thing here, trickling in, this type of thing. Oh, I think it's a great idea, because it makes you, it kind of puts it in different perspective than just like, oh my God, I have to obsess. Like, how jealous do you get when you see people, how many people have quit, and you get jealous of them in a certain way where you're like,
oh yeah,
oh my God, it happens all the time. But like, I think the idea of it is like being in it, but being like, I don't know, being like as realistic and as like, I don't know, as like whole as possible or something. It's very hard to do.
Yeah, totally. It's hard to not obsess over success and kind of spin off into that. And but when you do have like the grounding objective of like, I'm being like a cactus. I get, if I get a booking, like I'm taking it for what it is and I'm letting it like fuel me. Like another booking is coming. If it's a little while, like who knows? Like, am I dead? Like my cactus, is it dead? I have no idea. Like, no one can tell. Is it dead inside? I have no clue. I just continue to water it.
Exactly.
I have another. Oh, sorry.
It's
go ahead,
nice
Sarah.
to also have something to take care of outside of yourself, especially with this business of like, well, at least, you got a plan that you have to clean and water your like plant every day or something, like just something that takes you out, I think is always good.
Yes.
So, yeah, like keeping busy, because I don't know, but I know we work on stuff, the podcasts and stuff like that, but like we have way more free time during our day than like people 9 to 5 people. You know what I mean? Like, so yeah, I think having that as like a thing, oh, I got to do this, I got to do X, Y, and Z. Like it keeps your mind off of like the nonsense.
Yes. And that is so important. It's so important to just like stay in the moment. I was watching this thing, of course, on TikTok, Eckhart Tolle, and he was talking about how like so much of what's going on, so many of your problems are self-created by this like just mental chatter that you have like constantly, like I've decided now at 36 that this is my midlife crisis, I guess, that not only I want to be a doctor, but I could have been a doctor. Meanwhile, I never had it was never an interest of mine, but now I see like an advertisement for figs and I'm like, it could have been me. It could have been me. Like
what?
Yeah.
It's so funny because speaking of nautical, I have the same type of deal where I'm like, I probably should have worked on boats. I probably just should have been, I have zero training on boats. I've been fishing 3 times in my life. Like, but I had the same kind of thought process. I'm like, oh my God, I missed my calling as like a longshore fisherman or something,
Yes,
like
this is the blue collar midlife crisis of the artists. Where like, I probably should have had kids, it's like the opposite.
Exactly.
Now I have another plant called a pilea, which is also dying too. So I feel like I'm almost at the point where I'm like, should I just kill it and start over? But then I feel bad, it's like really, it's in your thing, Sarah, which is Sarah has a plant thing where she just treats them as though they're in the movie Seven.
Yes, you know, the sloth, I keep them barely alive for years.
Yeah, it's gone into that phase where I just look at it and it just kind of makes me feel bad. Excuse me, everybody, that's my birth control alarm, which always goes off.
There's a plant right here that's actually easy to take care of. Solar energy. And he's happy as can be. Look how happy he is.
Is this real?
I want Sarah to stay on that 7 thing and just have like a spiked watering can for the plant.
Yeah, right next to it.
I love that. That's your decor theme. Yeah, cool. I'm in a 90s horror film.
The plant finally dies. Katie's like, "What's in the box?"
My plant is dead.
Oh my gosh.
But you're saying it's almost, the pilea is almost gone. I've never even heard of a pilea before.
I think it has gotten to the issue of what you're saying, which is a concern with your plant, the root rot, because I bought, and this is something I feel like it's very tricky. I did buy it in a beautiful ceramic pot. But it had no hole at the bottom and it has no like dirt down there either. So I repotted it once and the roots were like soaked, but there's nowhere for the water to go. So it's like
super saturated or whatever.
Yeah, I think that's what happened with it, where it's just like there's nothing I can do now except for just like put it in hospice.
Well, you ever think of this? Like when you're getting watering, like when I got watering instructions for this plant, I treated it like I was like diffusing a bomb. Like I was like, if I do one false move, this plant dies. And that's just not the case. I don't like if I don't water this plant in the tub for the exact amount of time it's supposed to be watered, I'm going to overwater the plant. Like if it's a minute longer, this plant's dead. And I don't think that's necessarily the case. I think it's just like repeated abuse of these plants is where the demise of these things will end up, you know?
Yeah, and that's me too. It's like going on the road and then coming back and being like, whoopsie, just like. Well,
I think about that, like you think, oh shit, my plants are gonna die. But then you just think about like plants outside can go, like it like won't rain for weeks and then it has a downpour, like an insane downpour, and you're like, they're doing fine. Like, I don't know what I'm worried about over here.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. You really it has to be like extreme neglect for certain plants. But like you said, that one you just talked about, it might be where it's not for this climate, or it's not like I said with mine, where it's like maybe it's getting too humid in my apartment and the thing's like affected by it or something. You know, it's kind of interesting, you know.
Well, I do want to have more plants as we, starting to move into fall. Like summer, I love like just like looking outside and seeing like the lush, verdant green. It's so like soothing to me. So I want to get more plants as we go into fall, especially winter, because I just feel like it really makes your home, it looks great, even though it's a pain to take care of it. But it's just so nice to be like in January, like there they are. The old
yeah, that's a good point. Oh, I'm excited for that chapter of my plant's life.
Yes.
For your seasonal depression. For
darkness, my old friend.
Just know.
My plant is just playing Xbox all day, all depressed.
Now, Sean, you said you love fall because you love sweaters. Is that right?
Yes. And here's the thing. I think I have to, I don't know if I'm alone here as far as, did you guys ever think this? I think it comes from like elementary school and high school where you're like, summer's my favorite season. Like we're like, summer. But I think that only comes from because it's like, don't get me wrong, I do like summer, but like, I think it came from like, I have off for 3 months. It's summertime. Like, and I think that was just at the base of my brain. And I never thought like, hey, I might start to dig other seasons more now because I'm an adult and my summer vacation doesn't really exist anymore. So I think now fall is my new, I have to just make this statement. Fall is my new favorite season. I love
this. You're a fall guy. Cause I feel like women they're constantly belittling us. for loving fall, pumpkin spice, scarf.
Yeah, the
Like
lattes.
basic
Yeah.
bitches for liking fall. But you're
Yeah.
like,
They have come for us. It's like every like dude bro prank show host on TikTok is like, it's a pumpkin patch. You know, it's like, okay, relax. A lot of people like fall.
It's really nice, and it's not oppressively hot out, and you're not sweating like a maniac. So it's like,
Yeah.
my thing is, my favorite thing to wear is sweatshirts. I'm a big sweatshirt person.
Oh, yes. I love a sweatshirt too. It's something about just coziness.
blanket.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
wearing
It's
a
like a security blanket. Yes.
Snuggie. I wear a snuggie on the train.
Like-
Hello, lounging.
Yeah. Yeah. Just walking around in a cloak like snuggie on the streets. But I got to the point where like I did a count. I didn't do like a full count, but I get a little bit crazy with, I have about 30 sweatshirts at my house.
Oh,
Like it's like
okay.
insane the amount of sweatshirts. I just keep buying them. And the more I've realized about how much I love sweatshirts, I've gotten a little bit obsessive with like the quality of the sweatshirts I'll buy. So like I probably
That's
buying
adulting.
these. What'd you say?
That's adulting.
Yeah, that's adulting. Yes.
When you're like, I'm into cashmere now.
Yes.
Well, I go to this place called Todd Snyder online, who's like this designer,
Okay.
and he does like these mashups where he'll do like collabs with like different like streetwear brands like Champion, and he has these sweatshirts and like the best sweatshirts I've ever had in my life. But some of these sweatshirts are like $130. I'm like, I probably shouldn't be getting these sweatshirts. No, I don't get a ton of them. I have a couple of them, but it's still like in my head, I'm like,
You
I could
deserve
be.
it. I think
Yeah.
you deserve that. I think you deserve, especially like, oh, I'm looking at it right now. Wow, cute. I see he's got some floral prints on here.
Oh, he's got a bunch. It's really, really high quality sweatshirts. I'm to
Oh,
the point where
gorgeous.
like I'm like George Costanza. I'll like feel people's material when they have a sweatshirt on. I'll be like,
Yes.
and if it's a good one, I'm like, oh, that's a good sweat. Like you can tell like the heaviness of a sweatshirt if it's good. And I'm like a big fan of like
cute.
legit sweatshirts. Yeah.
Wow, I love these.
I've moved away from hoodies in my adult years because I always think they look they lose their shape and look depressing, where a crew neck looks better.
Yeah. I
Do you
agree.
guys
Totally agree. And a crew neck is better. You can wear like just like a little necklace or something to like class it up, you know? Because I love that look of like you're casual, but you're still like this is a lot of money, but I'm still cash, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, like I have a few hoodies, but I go now for mostly crew necks because me looking like this, if I put a hoodie on, I just look like a lost roadie. Like if I put a black hoodie on, I just look like I'm like supposed to be setting up a stage somewhere or something.
Yeah, especially the zipper ones. Like if I do a hoodie, I prefer the ones without the zipper, the pullover. But the zipper one always looks like it does like little tiny hills when you sit down, and it
doesn't wear
I
well.
never clean them and they get dirty. And then I just think of the UCB hoodie that everybody was wearing like 15 years ago that now just like depresses the shit out of me.
Yeah.
Well, because it's like kind of gone and it's kind of like a dead thing. Or...
It's also UCB for some reason represents like a toxic work environment. Like they lost control of their whole theater and ran it like poorly just because like the four ended up getting their success and they didn't like, I don't know, whoever they let it run business wise, it just got haywire.
Well, it was one of the dudes, and I'm not going to say his name, but he was the guy that, and then there was the whole controversy, not to get it too far into it, but like,
yeah.
I think he was, remember he came out, I remember in comedy, he came out and said, we break even. That was the beginning of the end for that theater. I think he came publicly in like an article or something or interview said we break even off the theaters. And it's like, no, you don't. No,
yeah.
That's a money-making
like
operation.
that non-profit model where like somebody's making $100,000 and they're like, well, the business didn't profit though.
Right. Exactly.
It also got culty because I went to one of those meetings when it was like when Kurt Metzger was calling them out for not paying performers when they're charging at the door. And one of the male members, the more dominant one, he was kind of like, anytime they say anything about us, you have to stand up for us. And then that's when I felt like the people in the audience or like their followers were kind of like, oh no, like that's not really good to say out loud.
It's like, read the room, bozo.
Yeah. I'm not sticking up for anybody that first of all, like, I don't know these people and I just use the theater as like stage time, but to be like, you need to stand up for us. You're like, I don't know what you're about. Like, I thought this was just like a stage performance. Not that I didn't mean for this conversation to go from sweaters to UCB controversy.
Oh no, but yeah, it's inevitable.
Yeah. No, that's great. That's gonna be a bonus because.
But no, but yeah, you're right. I remember that UCB sweatshirt as well, and I remember. I feel like if you wear hoodies with zippers, after a certain point you just look like you work at Hot Topic or something. Like it just looks like. So I go for a crew neck as well. That's what those Todd Snyder things are. So, but going back to fall, it's the perfect weather where you can just wear the sweatshirt and you don't need the jacket yet, and it's like, oh my god, there's nice breeze, the temperature gets great,
little
you're not
crisp. I do love that. I do love certain things about fall. I have to say I am a diehard summer person, and people get mad even like the heat wave. I'm like, I just still, because my birthday's in summer, so that too, but I do love fall when it just turns. And it feels like we get such a short fall here in New York, where it's like immediately, just immediately it's 30 degrees for 6 months. And you're like, why? So it's nice to kind of celebrate it.
Well, it's frustrating because you only get like 2 weeks to wear that cool lightweight jacket.
Yeah. You have 40 leather jackets and you wear them each once.
You also get Honeycrisp apples, which are the best apples on the planet.
Love apple season. I have to say, I love apple season. I absolutely. Last year I made that apple pie. I'm going to do it again.
Did you use Honeycrisp?
Well, I think usually for an apple pie, you have to go tart because you add sugar to it.
Granny
but
Smith.
I love Honeycrisp. I love like apples and cheese is a big snack that it's just like, I'll have that for a dinner. Like a crisp, like Honeycrisp and a little like sharp New Zealand cheddar. Oh,
I also think like it's also, and I know we just mentioned a big comedy thing, but I mean like it, even when it comes to shows, because you do have that August lull and then it kind of goes back full force.
Yes.
People do kind of take a break at the end of August, and our job, that's probably most things, but like, I mean like, you kind of, it's not, people aren't like, sweltering, and it's like the shows feel normal, and it feels like people are out and about more and in town more. So it feels like business picked back up or something,
Yes, I do love that too, like that back to school vibe.
Yes.
Yeah, it has a feeling of hope.
Yes. Oh.
And then we get deep in the syllabus, and then I want to drop everything again.
It's like by midterms, by Halloween, you're like, I'm overwhelmed.
Summer.
Yes. Now,
Well,
Sarah, do you have a back to school to-do list that you're doing?
For me or Sean?
For you.
Oh, okay. I always have clothes that I want to get, but like I do like stationery. And I like the hope of it, and I like backpacks.
Oh, I love it. I just got all new pens and pencils, which I'm very excited about. As you know, I love the mechanical pencil.
I love pens. I'm a big pen guy.
Yeah. For you?
I love a gel writer. Gotta love a gel writer. Oh my
I
God.
have it right here. These are the best.
Heavy duty gel writer.
Have you found one that doesn't smear as you write across? Because that drives me insane with the gel writers.
I found one, and then I like an idiot, I didn't write down the name of it, even though there's a pen right there.
And you can't ever find him again. You're like, what was that? I know it was a big, but like I don't know what power grip it was or whatever they call them.
Yeah, like the pens have become like iPhones. They have all like version numbers now and stuff, and you're like, I'm not gonna I'm not gonna know the special pen name. The iPen, what are they like? Whatever, I'm not gonna. It's just a pen. Just call it a freaking. Just should be a book.
Yeah, just upgrade them.
I remember I have horrible handwriting, and when I was a kid in school, I used to have to use like pencil grips for the pencil. It was like a triangle thing you put over. You felt like an idiot. I felt like a giant moron. But I was like, you would slide it over the pencil. It was supposed to help with your grip. It didn't. My handwriting is still atrocious, but yeah.
I'm on the computer now, but I just got a new Panda planner. It's so satisfying to just like fill this out. I'm like putting my dates in. I do love that for like back to school vibes.
See, somebody else brought up that my friend Ray brought up, hey, you should get a planner And I was like, yeah, but what about your phone? And he's like, it's different with a planner. And I'm like,
Oh my God. So different.
what's a Panda planner?
Can you explain why it's different, Katie? Because I am a phone person because I have it with me at all times. It syncs up to everything else, but it drives me insane with the time zone situation.
Yeah, I've had a few boo-boos with that one where you're like, oh my God, I thought I scheduled this for 1 p.m. and now it's saying 2 in the morning. And it's because you're like in a different land. Well,
Yeah.
for me, like
I've done that. Yeah, different land. You mean the state? You're in that Lord of the Rings country.
yeah, you know, Middle Earth, you're having 11s. For me, a phone, I cannot use it for planning. I do keep my Google Calendar updated, but like if I'm going on the phone to like look for something, it is so easy for me to just all of a sudden I'm in Instagram and it's an hour later and I'm like, what was I doing?
That's a good
Where
point.
am I? Who am I? Why am I crying? You know, so I just get sucked into like, I get sucked into the other apps. So when I have my planner, like I have to say, and I have talked about my love for Panda planners on this show before, and I did reach out to them to give us money and they said, no, thank you. So I'm just promoting for free again. But you have this, now this is the monthly planner. So you have an entire section where you just free write everything you want to get done that week. You just free write it all out. Anything you feel like this is a catch-all for any errands, anything else. And then you have your 4 big areas where you put each big topic that you're working on. So then you actually have a place to like get everything out, prioritize it, go back through and say like, actually, do I need to clean the fridge this week? Maybe just don't. And then you go through and you say like, okay, this is what I'm going to focus on for the week. So it has a section where it gives you a space to create goals and keep working towards those goals. And
so it's more than just a planner. It's like you just sold me. I'm getting one.
Yeah.
What'd you say, Sarah?
I said it's a lifestyle.
It's a lifestyle.
Yes, it is a lifestyle.
The Panda people are like, if they say anything to disparage us, you defend us. The Panda people.
I am in the cult.
We'll defend them.
But I think you sold me on. I'm going to get one.
It's really great. It's really great. And then even, you know, I have all my old ones. So I'm transferring right now, but in the process, I'm going back through, I'm looking at like, oh, did I ever do
Write a book?
This goal? Yeah. I'm like trying to find like, I actually did most of these, but did I ever do texting Jason? Yeah. You know, and then I'm like, oh, Jason, which I didn't actually, he still has my hard drive and I'm glad I just remembered.
Just read that. Yeah, exactly. I wonder, it almost takes a page out of that, like that artist, what's it called? The Artist Life book or whatever.
Artist Way.
Artist Way, yeah.
Artist Way. Yeah, reminds me of that kind of.
We have a lovely relationship with that on this show. I love it.
Well, because I do morning papers and I started back up again, but they really turn into little suicide letters.
It is
I'm getting so good at writing them.
Yeah. It's really easy to get on a spiral and then you're just still in the spiral.
Where I don't feel like that's productive.
No, it's not.
Sarah's gone and she left like 4,000 quasi suicide notes. We can't tell.
A lot of reach here.
Yeah. One, it's like, looks like one that says get peanut butter at the end of it. It's crazy.
Yeah. I had a joke like that. I think it was like a year ago where it's like, I've been writing more. I'm so proud of myself. It's mostly suicide notes at this. You know, work is work.
Writing's writing. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Now, one thing I love about fall, which I am so desperately looking forward to, is the change in weather. I love roasting. I love roasting stuff in the oven, not comedy, to be clear. But I love, like, I have all my veggies, and during the summer it's so hot, and especially this past month it has just been unbelievable that like we'll put on the oven to roast something for like 30 minutes and the entire apartment you're just sweating for the rest of the day, or you're like turning on the air conditioning. It's like, this feels like it's probably why the planet is not doing well.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a dish. My growing up, that's another reason I love going into winter and fall is because we would have this thing roast beef with potatoes around the meat, which is like insanely good. So I
Yum.
think I have the back of my head as well, where it's like, oh, you can cook again. Because I was cooking myself even breakfast on the pan. I was cooking myself that each morning, and then the minute summer hits, I'm like, I don't even feel like turning on the oven in any capacity.
What I'm realizing also that's great about fall, it's not so much now, but like all the TV shows came back on then.
Yes, that is something I'm also so looking forward to. I feel like I've been in a show desert this entire summer. I'm trying to like Game of Thrones. I don't. I'm like, okay, here we are again. Like, where is Tyrion? I don't care.
Sarah was horrified by that take on the show.
I love Game of Thrones, but I get it. It's very Renaissance fair.
Are you talking about the original or are you talking about the new one?
I'm watching House of Dragons.
Yeah.
Now.
I call it the House of the Spinoff.
It is.
I've never seen even one full episode of Game of Thrones.
That shocks me to my core because you look like you were on that show.
That or Vikings,
you
right?
might like it. Well, I have to say because where it feels like it's cold and they layer a lot in this show that it's a fall show that I think maybe you'd like it.
Yes. Now I have a fun.
Is that a Todd Snyder tunic? Is that a?
Yeah.
This is my fun fall recipe that I'm really looking forward to doing, and I'm going to share it on here because it's a New York Times cooking, and I know no one's going to be able to get past the paywall at this point.
There should be an app that gets past that paywall for you, or somebody that goes into the New York Times, and then summarizes it for you and brings us back the good info.
My God, that's going to be my new Facebook Live channel. I'll make $300,000. Well, this is the thing. I love doing like 1 pan or like 2 pan meals because it is so easy. And it's like, especially like doing salads, you would think like, oh, just like throw a bag in there. It is so labor intensive, the salads, even with my chopper, as we all know, I have been using it. It's changed my life, but it's like a salad. It's at least 30 minutes. And sometimes it's fun because you're, doing a podcast or whatever, but like sheet pan, you're just throwing it all on. This one is this sounds delicious and I'm desperate to try it. So it's gnocchi, right? And you get it in the package at the store. That's the top pan. The bottom pan is shallots, leeks, asparagus. You turn it to like 400. You leave it in there 20 minutes. So it's 2 different pans. And then for the veggie pan, you add peas the last 5 minutes. Then you mix it all together. Little lemon zest, little Parmesan. Amazing.
Wow.
Easy, vegetarian. It's great.
Yeah.
I actually bought one of those what's the grill? It's not the George Foreman grill, it's the other one, the Ninja grill.
Oh, yes. What are you
and
using?
It's very
smoker recently?
Oh yeah, I have a smoker too.
Oh my gosh, I love that.
Well, this is actually kind of funny. The original story for the smoker is I was like, I'm really obsessed with barbecue, and I'm like, one of my life goals is to be good at I want to make a perfect brisket one day in my life.
Ooh,
I love this. This is a journey. That's a journey.
This is a journey. My barbecue journey. My manly barbecue journey.
Bad journey.
Bad journey. And anyway, so I was living with a friend of ours. We know Robert Dean, and we were in Long Island City, and it was like during, or like maybe tail end of pandemic, whatever it was. And I did the thing where like, I really want to get a smoker. And I'm like, I'm sure you could probably use a smoker in an apartment if you do it properly. So I just searched online, like, can you use a smoker in an apartment? And the minute I saw a yes, I was like, yes, there we go. There we go. I just Googled it. And once I saw a yes, I was like, it was like yes, but I just read the yes. Right. And so I went on the Home Depot website and I bought like a legit smoker, electric smoker for like $400.
Wow.
On this thing. Yes. And I was living in like an apartment building on like 46 Road. And I was like, all right, great. This is great. And then it got delivered. And it was gigantic and super heavy. it got delivered, and then I was like, you know what? Let me look again. So I go, can I use like this particular? I like put the model number and everything. Can I use this in an apartment? And the results were like, do not, whatever you do not use this in the apartment. So I just gave it away. I was like, I want to learn my lesson, so I didn't sell it. I gave it to Bobby Kelly. I just gave it. He came from Westchester and just picked up, and then did a Instagram stories video making fun of me for buying I was giving the guy a smoker, and he just filming me. You know, he films his day, just films me and be like, this idiot bought a smoker for an apartment. And I'm like, but I'm giving it to you. And then he just took it, and I think he still uses it, whatever it is. But yeah, I was the moron who bought a smoker. And then now I'm in a new place in Astoria, and my landlord, who's just this old Greek lady, was nice enough to let me buy an outdoor smoker and like chain it to the stairs in the back. And I just me and Jason Salmon, we've made salmon. I said salmon. Speaking of smoking, we've smoked a few things like ribs and chicken and steaks and stuff like that on there. But the goal is to make a perfect brisket. So yeah.
Oh, I love brisket. And Sean, I remember we did a road show one time, and we went to a barbecue place upstate that you picked, and it was phenomenal. I love it. That's my number one.
Oh yeah.
You remember?
I forget where that was, but it was oh God. Yeah, we went to, I think it was just by sight. I don't think I even knew about it, unless we went to Hoodoo Brown in Connecticut. Was that the one?
I think that's what it was.
Yeah, yes. Hoodoo Brown's like, yeah, my buddy told me about Hoodoo Brown. Hoodoo Brown's like legit. God.
That place was unbelievable. And I'm glad I remembered to ask you that, because I want to go back there someday.
We should all take a ride. Yeah, we should just go.
Oh my God. The brisket there that's probably the best brisket that I have ever had in the North that hasn't been like, at least in Cincinnati.
Yeah. Like so what it was is like, I grew up here I grew up in Long Island, like, and we didn't have legitimate Texas barbecue until like, I don't know, I would say in New York until like 7-8 years ago. Like when Mighty Quinn started and Hill Country, and even they are like decent, but Hoodoo, they really nail it. Like you could put Hoodoo up against any place in Austin or in Dallas, I feel like, or, you know, out in Texas. They're like legit. Yeah, they're good.
Wow, that's not even that far. I'm looking at it now. I want to go back there.
It's like an hour and a half away from the city. Yeah. Hoodoo Brown barbecue. It's fantastic.
Bad.
Yeah.
No. What does it take for you to make your brisket? Like, why is this a thing that you've put on hold? Like, are you preparing mentally for this, or do you take classes?
I meditate.
Why hasn't it happened yet?
I meditate each day. It's called meditate. You meditate. I just think about meat for an hour straight. No, you know what it is briskets are expensive. They're really like, depending on the poundage, say you get an 8-pound brisket, you could be spending anywhere from like, I don't know, $70 to $110. Yeah. So, and you don't want to mess it up. And it basically, what I realized is it's the set it and forget it kind of mentality when it comes to, that's what I've seen with slow cooking. So, and I've seen guys who know it secondhand, they put the thing on, they leave it. The more times you have to open up to check, the more heat is being, so the differentiation and the heat is going nuts. So you get like, either it gets too well done, or it's, you're supposed to get a certain smoke ring around the meat, and it's supposed to be a certain consistency, and it's supposed to jiggle when you take it out. Then you take it out and you wrap it, and then it cooks its own juices for 2 hours or even overnight sometimes, whatever it is. So it's almost like a dude souffle or something. It's where it's like everything has to be perfect, or it can very easily be ruined. Like it's very, very easy because you're smoking it. It's supposed to be I think an hour or an hour and a half for each pound. So you're there like 8 to 10 hours on these briskets. So I don't want to do it unless I know exactly what I'm doing, and I'm not even close to being there yet. So because that's like, yeah, it's a good goal, because it's like, that means I think anybody who does it probably masters it. I think it's the hardest thing to make on a smoker, especially an offset smoker. Like if I still had that electric smoker, it's kind of like an oven. You can kind of set it and forget it. Like it's whatever, and you'll probably get a decent brisket. But to make it on like a legit smoker that has all the elements outside, and the temperature outside affects the inside temperature, and you're opening the door to put other stuff on or to check it, like it's very easy to screw it up. So that's why I'm like waiting.
So what's your training process for this?
I've been kind of lazy this summer. It was just, we were going to do like once every few weeks, do a smoke of other things like ribs, like shorter smokes, like ribs, and we did like a flank steak one time or something, or stuff like that. We're gonna do turkey legs coming up, stuff like that to kind of get the knack of it. I should be doing it more. I've just been lazy this summer, but like it should be like a once a week thing where I'm making something on the smoker.
I love a turkey leg. Yum. It's
Yeah.
got that Renaissance fair vibe where you're just like strolling, you know,
yes,
letting the meat juice run down your face. You're
very Game of Thrones.
Corset.
Yes.
Down your bosoms.
You're wearing a bustier, it's fine.
Yeah, right. You love it.
But I would love to, like, I have like a secret fantasy of like, oh, I'm gonna open up a barbecue restaurant, which is never happening, but I would love that.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be great.
Oh my God, it'd be huge. It'd be a it'd be a cool side hustle.
I would love that. And you could have also a lot of amazing sides.
Oh,
yes.
Sides.
Well, that's
My barbecue side. What's your top barbecue side? Everyone go.
Mac and cheese.
Really? I don't love mac and cheese. I mean, I'm a coleslaw freak.
I like a coleslaw with the meat, and I put it in the sandwich if it's a pulled pork sandwich. I like the sweetness.
So good. But I also have to say I do love the stewed collards though.
And potato salad is good with sweet meats.
Yes, I love potato salad.
Yeah, I'll go for, I like sweet potato. Like, I like, some places will do like baked sweet potatoes or baked potatoes, and I'll put them on the actual smoker. I love those. Love them. Anything potato-y I like.
And then barbecue desserts.
Ooh.
Oh,
I have to say, I will go pecan pie because I love it. Ugh.
I never
taro syrup.
I never have an associated dessert. I feel like I'm always, I
Full?
probably just go for like a normal, like, what'd you say?
You're always full.
Yeah, I'm just full. Yeah, I'm just done. I've had a whole 3 pounds of brisket. I'm done. But I would probably just go for like a summer dessert, like a ice cream or something. But I know what you mean. The pie is what makes sense. Like at those places, they always have like pecan pie or you're right. I guess
banana pudding.
Oh, banana pudding. Yeah. Yeah.
That is a very barbecue-y type deal. But I don't know why I never go for that. Maybe because it is I'm Dunzorini. I'm a meat sweats.
Well, I sometimes think cornbread is like sweet enough as itself as with butter that plays as a good dessert in itself.
Definitely.
So delicious.
Yeah. Do you guys like when they have actual corn in the cornbread? Like, have you had that happen? When you go to, do you enjoy it?
A corn pudding. Oh my God. I used to do catering years ago, and they would serve a corn souffle that was just so delicious. It was like corn pudding basically, but it was like a little like step above, because I had like fresh herbs or whatever, but it was sweet. Oh, so good.
Do all of us wish we had the career of the corn kid right now?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I heard them talking about that on TikTok and I did not know. And then the song finally came up on my For You page and I was like, this is wonderful.
Apparently the kid's doing cameos.
Yes.
Crazy.
I know, he's skyrocketing. That could be us. Just keep putting out content.
Corn on TikTok is porn sometimes. So I thought it was coded language for like a porn song.
So did I. I thought that too. Because there's all these chicks dancing with corn. And I'm like, oh, are they trying to say they watch porn or something? Yeah. What's going on here? Yeah. I had the same thought. And then I realized, and then I saw the clip of the kid and I'm like, oh no, this is just adorable. And this kid's going to make $1 billion. And also it's like the catchy part is the song. And I didn't know this. Another TikTok tells you that, I don't know if you saw this one, TikTok, which is now just the new TV and radio. Another one told you that the people who made it are the same act that made the Hide Your Kids, Hide Your Wife guy from like 10 years ago. Yeah.
I was saying this to Mike. It has a lot of similarities to it.
Yeah, it does.
It's nice that they have had a comeback. It's kind of like John Travolta on the online world.
Yes.
Wait, what did John Travolta? Oh, yeah. Like that's their Pulp Fiction. Yeah.
Yeah. So now they're back. Like that's great because those guys, all of that. That's why I just love the internet. Is like you're like, who thinks of this? No exec in Hollywood would ever be like, this is going to be the hit. Like. That's what I enjoy about online stuff is like you get a song about corn and it sweeps the nation.
Because it's truly creative. It's not like, oh, are people going to like this? They can't get there.
it just comes up organically. Like that guy, that skateboarder dude from California with the ocean spray drinking the cranberry juice, and people just immediately love that guy. And now he's like in a movie. Like now he's like, and he's probably got millions of dollars. And I think he was kind of, it's true. He has like so much money. And I think he was like getting kicked out of his apartment or his house or something. I forget his name.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just, that's kind of the way things go now. The same way that like you'll see, if your song gets, now it's more worth it if you're a musician and your song's trending on TikTok. I feel like it's probably just laps if you were getting played on the radio 4 times a day. It's probably the way more.
To wrap up, let me ask you, Sean. Okay, so brisket, is that your favorite fall food?
No, I would say my mom's roast beef with potatoes around the meat is my favorite fall food. Yeah.
Really?
So yeah, home cooked food is my favorite fall food. Going for like, because when I go home now, we don't like, because the same reasons we said about like not wanting to turn on the oven. But then when you get back and you're having like, my mom will make like, as far as roast stuff goes, she'll make roast chicken, she'll make pot roast, she'll make, we never had brisket growing up. It was always pot roast, but roast beef was like, during the winter, it'd be like at least once a month. It was fantastic. So that's like my favorite nostalgic, like back in the day.
That's like Irish brisket, right?
Yeah, it's like Irish brisket. Yeah, it's like Irish brisket.
Now, okay, is that your favorite food of all time? I'm dying.
No, my favorite food of all time. I'm a big chicken person. With all this roast talk, I love any type of chicken. I'm a big connoisseur of fried chicken. That's my go-to. So my favorite food of all time is probably fried chicken. I love it.
Oh my gosh.
I'm very picky with like, I can just like people with like a sommelier of fried chicken. Like I can tell you if it's well-made fried chicken. You know.
What's your favorite fried chicken place in the city?
In the city, Blue Ribbon.
Blue Ribbon.
Blue Ribbon's amazing.
Love it.
Fast food fried chicken?
Which one?
Fast food fried chicken. Which one's your favorite out of the
Popeyes?
I would agree with you on that one.
There was a time when they used to have all those shows in the East Village, I would always, and like, O'Hanlon's had shows. I would go to KFC all the time for dinner because whatever was right there. But I never fully got on board with KFC. Popeyes is way better. Way better. Yeah. 100%. Yeah. Popeyes. And then as far as Blue Ribbon is like, because Blue Ribbon it's a fast food setup. And then my ex-wife would take me to, like, she knew I loved it so much. So like for my birthday, we'd go to like, there was one place which is called like Bird or something. And when you get too fancy with fried chicken, I'm out of the game. It has to be fast food-ish. It has to have that, like, hey, I have these greasy fries, a biscuit. You know what used to be the best in New York, and I think they had them all over, was Roy Rogers. When Roy Rogers in its heyday was like legit fried chicken, like out of control, good fried chicken.
I'm a big fan of Blue Ribbon though. I lived right on that corner when they first opened on 2nd Avenue. Like it was like 10 years ago. And I would go there late at night. I would get my little chicken drumstick and just, eat it on the street like a little squirrel.
Just peck at your chicken drumstick.
Yeah.
I agree. I think it's like, it's the most consistent, whatever it is. And then the best barbecue I've had in this city, I don't know if you've been to Hometown, but Hometown in Red Hook is phenomenal. Yeah.
Oh, in Red Hook. Oh, that's why I haven't been there. I can't.
Hill Country is good too. On 26th and Broadway.
Is that still open? We used to do a mic there years ago.
It's kind of a cool room. Before I got married, I went there and I was like, maybe we'll have our wedding at this basement room.
Yeah.
Hill Country Barbecue.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Well, Sean, we've really been on a full journey with you today. We talked plants, we talked sweaters, and then I did not know that you were so into meats.
Yes.
Smoking your own meat. And so it's really been awesome to have you on, and we so appreciate you coming. Do you have anything that you'd like to promote for our listeners?
Yeah, I have a podcast myself. It's called The Brand New Jerks. I do it with a really funny comedian, Ray Zawadney. And I also have a radio show every Wednesday on Sirius. And then on September 20th, I'm launching my YouTube channel where you can find my comedy and UFO talk. I'm going to start doing UFO things on my YouTube channel. So it's just search for Sean Donnelly on YouTube and you'll see Shawnee Boy is the name of the channel, but I haven't gotten the personalized name thing yet. So search for Shawnee Boy and you'll find it.
Awesome. So we'll link it. We'll link it below. So
okay,
everybody check out down there to find all of Sean's links.
It's like you're pointing to your crotch.
Down there. I was in the vagina monologues in college, and that was one of the pieces. Down there. Fine. The vagina monologues. That's what I call it when I'm bombing. It's been a one-woman show. Thank you. Well, thank you again so much for coming on. And
Thank you for having me.
guys, next time, yeah, check out our Patreon for our bonus, and please leave a 5-star review.
Thank you guys.
Lady Journey.
Lady Journey.